Thank you. Thank you.
I think it's the other button to the gentleman's right.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I don't know how we are going to be able to erase this stereotype or the misinformation that seems to be eternally out here in the world, that people who live in public housing move in and their goal is to stay for an entire lifetime. The facts don't match the stereotypes. If you have children living in multifamily property, the stay is about 5.14 years. That's about the time that my family lived in public housing. That's just so dramatically different than what people seem to want to believe and how it is perpetuated. Do you have any ideas how we can erase that misinformation that seems to be all over the country, and I think there's always some resentment from those of us who, in my case, saw my father work 3 jobs to save enough money to buy a lot to get a house, and other families were doing the same thing. But I don't know how we get that out. So my father, 92, and if this is on C-SPAN, he's probably watching. So thanks for everything, Daddy. But I don't know. I mean, it's an insult to him and a lot of other people. How can we erase this?
Yeah, it's a great question, and let me say as well, I enjoyed visiting with Chairman Lukemeyer in his district. I also enjoyed visiting with you in your district, Ranking Member Cleaver. You ask a great question, and what we see every day is that whether it's in public housing or folks receiving a Section 8 voucher, we see folks who want to work hard and want to get on the track to a better life. And we understand that our investment in public housing and in HUD-assisted housing is a way to get them on that track. I reject the notion that somehow folks who are living in public housing are lazy or that it creates a culture of dependency. The fact is that 56% of the households that we serve are headed by someone who is elderly or disabled to begin with. And of the rest, a significant number of the folks are under the age of 18. They're children. Of the folks who are working age, a decent number of those folks are working. And if they're not working, then they are required to do some sort of community service or be in school or go through job training. And so this is very much an opportunity for folks to get onto the track of a better life that they want to get on.
Thank you. I agree, obviously, with everything you've said. It's so frustrating to hear the contrary. Let's talk about FHA for just a moment, because FHA plays a major role for first-time home buyers, and FHA has helped almost 500,000 people get into homes since 2014, and about 1/2 of them are brown and black Americans. Is FHA, do you believe FHA, as we're talking about the future, one of the agencies that absolutely must be preserved so that we can continue to provide this kind of assistance to first-time home buyers as well as others?
FHA plays an invaluable role in creating upward mobility in our nation for people of all income levels. It has been the primary vehicle for first-time home buyers to get into a home, people of all different backgrounds. As you mentioned, for the African American and Latino community today, about 50% of those home buyers have an FHA insured loan. Over the last couple of years, we've seen the Mutual Mortgage Insurance Fund rise in value by $21 billion. It is on the right path. So yes, we need to do everything that we can to continue to strengthen FHA and ensure that it's there to provide that opportunity for folks to reach the American dream.
Thank you. It may be also important to realize that those individuals qualified for the loan, that they were not just.
Sure, and I know there's a few seconds left. We have to distinguish between the issue of affordability and access. What we did was that we lowered the mortgage insurance premium, so we made it more affordable. That did not in any way change who qualifies for a loan. We still have historically a fairly high average credit score for FHA-insured loans of 677. The average credit score out there is 687, to give you a sense of the closeness of those numbers.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I yield back, Mr.
Time of the gentleman has expired.